Hello and welcome back to the amazing city of Vinralandia. Last time we just finished out the framework of Witsville, and this time we're gonna do something. I'm not quite sure, mainly because I just noticed a massive amount of issues in the commercial district of Witsville, which happens to be the entire left side, which I don't actually know what cardinal direction it is, because there's no compass. This game should really have a little compass in the bottom corner, so I could say that it's like the east side. But I don't know. I can't keep track of that kind of thing. So as demand comes and goes, we're going to continue to build out this particular area, mostly with commercial, probably a few offices as well. Probably like in this particular little section right here. Right here. Boom. Offices, offices, offices. So many. Look at that. It's brilliant. There we go. Okay. But outside of that, Witsville is completed. Our job is now to move on to the next section of the city. We also worked on Cultopia a bit. We finished out the roads in here, just filling in the last little bits of space. And that's just going to build up with residential as demand is necessary. What? I don't know what that means. As we have demand for it. There we go. So what do we build next? We need another amazing metropolitan area. And I think we have another tile, so we could probably consider using that to create this metropolitan area. Let's look at that. Boom, unlock right here. Nope, that was the wrong button. It's this one. Okay, so I'm thinking we're going to have a square section. We get 9 of these blocks. We'll just have a nice square. Let's take this, and we'll put a metropolitan area right next to Bat Town with the Knick-Knack Memorial Bridge Road right here, dividing the two of them. That should be beautiful, and it'll be penned in within this area between the rail lines. It'll be nice, won't it? It'll be brilliant. Okay. So first things first, how are we going to connect it up? I'm thinking we put the octopus to more use, that being this ridiculous roundabout. And we have the old one-way, 2-lane roads coming up out of the octopus and going into the city. That'll be nice. Oh, what? Look at that! Congratulations! We're a metropolis! Isn't that amazing? We have 65,000 people. That is beyond my understanding that we can have that many people and our city doesn't fall into terrible unrest. I swear our city isn't in terrible unrest. But we did unlock the airport. Boom. Brilliant. Let us continue what we were doing. So we're going to put that 2-way road right over there and have it come down probably to a main arterial road right around here. Just a big 2-way, 6-lane road. This is going to be the biggest metropolitan area yet, because it's going to fit all of this area. All of it. Literally every little piece. But until then, we need to continue. We need to just start prepping it. Figuring out how things are going to work in it, where people are going to come from, how they're going to get to it, how they're going to get from it. Okay, one single problem. This is coming from the wrong direction. No, wait, no it isn't, no. Okay, yeah, we want traffic to come into this on relative to our current position, the left-hand side of the road, because then on traffic doesn't have to get tangled up in off traffic. Boom, right there. And then we'll have, no, not like that, another one jutting out this way. Right like that. There we go. We'll have this one come off and be the, pretty much the on-ramp for this big roundabout. And it'll allow people to get out of whatever amazing place we're going to build. Which I don't even know where it is right now. Not a clue what this place is. What it's all about, what makes it tick. Nobody knows. Really, nobody can know because it doesn't even technically exist yet. It's just being planned. There we go. So that gives us an in and out direction. Perfect. Now we need to get the initial roads set up. Let's have it hemmed in by big 4-lane roads. Not quite 6-lane, not quite 2-lane, just 4-lane roads. It would be perfect. That way traffic will flow a bit easier through these particular areas, just as it's coming off and getting to wherever it needs to go. We have a 4-lane come down here, and a 4-lane come down this side. Similar to what we did in Battown. Actually, pretty much the same thing that we did in Battown. 3 big arterial roads, one going down the center, and the other one's off to the side. Now, we need the first sections of this brilliant section of the city that will bring us, no doubt, into the modern era. So what could this metropolis possibly be called other than... I've still got nothing. Still got nothing. We don't need to name it yet. We only need to name it after people actually start showing up. Because at that point, they're going to want to be able to say, I live in blankety blank, which is definitely not going to be the name of this place. Just throwing it out there, not even close. Never going to do it. Never will a section of any city I ever build be called blankety blank. That would be ridiculous. I mean, who would want to even say that they live in blankety blank? That'd be so bad. Okay. So here we truly have the first roads of this new section of the city. It shall be brilliant. Hook that up right there. Perfect. The first thing we need to do is get water in here. Because water is the life force of any city and people. So we need to make sure that we have ample amounts for this particular section. Let's have it hook up there in a terribly inefficient way that leaves a massive stretch just unwatered in the middle. It's so bad. There we go. And then services. Because services are the other lifeblood of any city. And without them, we shall be thrown into ruins! How terrible would that be? Being thrown into ruins is wretched. We'll just put them all along this main road. Because I do that. It's a thing I do. Makes it easy to figure out where particularly the police station is. And then once you go to the police station and they tell you, sir, you've been shot, you really need to go to the hospital, the hospital will be right over there, and you'll be like, oh, thank you very much, I'll just go to the hospital immediately. They'll be like, Jolio, good day, sir. I hope you don't get shot again. We're going to find the person who shot you, hopefully bring him to justice. If not, well, that's too bad. And you'll be like, oh, yes, I understand. It's a hard, cruel world out there, and I'm just trying to make my way. Thank you very much for assisting me in that. It'll just be a very jolly situation. Ah. Perhaps that is this section of the city. Because we have many sections that seek to fight many things. We have Cultopia, which seeks to fight with Goatsburg. We have Branberg, which has now begun, well, always had its fight against strange things, and has now expanded that fight to be a fight against Witsville, which represents strange things and now has a ton of abandoned buildings in it. Because apparently we don't have enough customers. Well, shut up, Witsville. You're gonna be fine. Look, we got like $1 million bajillion in our treasury. If you need a small business loan or a large business loan, we can totally help you out there. You'll be fine. So, this is the one section of the city that seeks to not fight it out between anyone. They don't want to see anyone come to harm, no damage done to anyone. It's just such a jolly place. And that is why we will call it Jolly City Central. Yes, no? Look, I'm just going to call it that for now. Perhaps we'll renovate the name and make it actually not terrible. But for now, it is Jolly City Central. The most important section of the city, because it truly does represent unity. It's the one section of the city that I could say, I'm from Jolly Central... Jolly Central City? That's what it was. Yes, I'm from Jolly Central City, and I would actually be able to be voted into office because there wouldn't be half of the city hating me. Isn't that amazing? Hawthorne Park. Nobody wants to name their section Hawthorne Park. That's crazy. Jolly City Central. That's what I called it. Jolly City Central. A section of just the most happy people in the world, oddly juxtaposed by the fact that apparently nobody is happy in Jolly City Central, probably because there is no one in Jolly City Central. It is slightly controversial right now. Okay. We appear to have major customer problems all across the region, amongst all of our really astute and very important businesses. I mean, we have to, of course, make sure that these businesses thrive in the face of whatever economic disaster I'm going to bring about in the course of constructing this city. And by the way, it's about time we actually named the octopus the octopus. There we are. The octopus is now named and is still as generally inefficient as it was when it began. My lord. Look, Jolly City Central has nothing in it yet. Not a single thing anywhere. Not one building has been built. In case I have to repeat it 100 times, nothing has been constructed. Why is this? Do we truly live in a city that is so unhappy that we can't build things within Jolly City Central? Here, let's get some offices. We need these offices so that we can get the few happy people that do exist in this city to come together, put their heads together, realize that we're playing on the slowest speed and that might slightly be the cause of the situation, and really figure out how to get people to move into Jolly City Central, how to get them to just give up their life of just terrible hatred and move on to a life of happiness and tranquility, which is represented in Jolly City Central. Are we having Cultopia traffic again? My lord. Is it because people are moving in? That's probably it. We've got a small problem down here. Hello, people. Come to realize that you don't actually have any power right now. You might not get power for a little while, so I'm going to hook you up right there. There you go. How do you feel about that? You're all going to have power. You're all going to be happy. You're not happy after you have power. Geez, I just can't help you at that point. There's nothing else I can do. We're going to build another solar power plant. Because solar power plants are the way of the future. I know it must be built on a roadside. I've got a roadside right here. There we go. Look at all the solar power plants, clearly controlled by Cultopia, to the dismay of Goatsburg, who really wanted their own solar power plant so that they could go off the grid, but we didn't allow that because if Goatsburg went off the grid, we have no clue what they would do with those goats. That would be really bad. Look, we could have a goat uprising. In other words, the goats could replace the people. Nobody wants to see that happen. We're not going to allow it to happen in our city either. Not ever. What do we have in terms of important buildings? Statue of Wealth, Statue of Shopping. We have the Friendly Neighborhood Park, the Fountain of Life and Death, kind of morbid. The Official Park. You know, I realize there's really only one place where the official park really fits in, and that is truly the Unnamed Lands. Because of all the places, the Unnamed Lands is truly the most official place in the city. Entirely built out of offices, just perfect for an official park. So there we go, we got that down there. Just haphazardly placed in the middle of it. It's pretty terrible. Then what else do we have? Not many. Oh, we got a lot of stuff in here. What is this? A science center? And what is this? An aquarium? We have an aquarium? What in the world? An expo center? And the high interest tower. Like to have offices in it because it has such a lovely view. Oh my word. Look how large of a building that is. It's a massive building. Perhaps we should put it in... I don't think we should put it in Branberg. It's a bit much. But we can put it right here. That, my friends, is a ridiculous tower that completely does not blend in with the city at all. But regardless, what we have here is Wittsville's stark determination to show exactly how different it is by building a massive tower that doesn't make any sense in their city, and they have people just lining these windows, just like putting terrible little messages in them, sticking them in the window, so that all the people who live right along this edge of Bramberg can look up to the windows and be like, oh, look, that poster says Bramberg stinks. Great. There goes all of my self-esteem for today. And they just do that constantly. That sort of action is really what the Jolly City Central is all about stopping. They can't allow that to occur. It's too ridiculous. Let's see, what else? Our demand is not going up because as the demand grows, it's getting dealt with by the various sections that are just slowly building up. Like Cultopia, for instance. Which is Cultopia large enough? It is not. Let's expand it a bit. Make sure it fits all of the area that truly is Cultopia. Man, look at our city. It had such humble beginnings as just a small group of cult worshippers, and now it is all this. I think I've said that for the past 5 episodes, but it's still impressive that we have such a massive city at this point. It's not a very nice looking city. There's been much better looking cities out there quite often, but you know, it's our city. We've built it. We've nurtured it from infancy and cultishness, I guess. I'll call it cultishness. from infancy and cultishness into glorious adulthood, I guess, and not purely cultishness. Of course, we can't completely get rid of what is our cultish background. It will always be there as a small little suburb called Cultopia. The ridiculous place where people are just sacrificing virgins, and the police, of course, don't care because they're part of the cult, and the hospitals don't report it because they're part of the cult, and there's like ritualistic goat killing that is just hated by Goatsburg, but they can't do anything because there's just so many more cultists than there are goat lovers. And the University of Spherity, whose pure goal was to bring together the two suburbs, and it didn't work. Not yet. It's still trying, but it hasn't yet succeeded. And now, no doubt the people from the University of Spherity, who are trying to merge these two big sections, will move into the offices in Jolly City Central and begin figuring out how they can use this amazing section to bring together the two suburbs. Isn't that brilliant? And Battown, of course, being Battown, full of Batmen, they don't actually care. They just want to punch criminals. Because that is what they do. They jump off of Wayne Towers, and they just pounce on criminals. Who actually, recently, they've had to import their criminals because, of course, Battown is completely filled with people who are Batman. So they don't generate their own criminals. They have to go out of the region, find a jail, be like, hey dude, we need to take some of your criminals and release them in our city. They give us weird looks, and then they're like, okay. And we release them, and the Batman just beat them up. It's amazing. It actually works out really well. It brings crime down quite a bit, all over the place. Well, with that, we come to the end of this episode. We've just began Jolly City Central in the hopes of unifying the entirety of Vinralandia under one roof. And by one roof, I mean one district, because we can't fit everyone in Vinralandia under one roof. That's 67,000 people. That's way too many people to fit under one roof, unless we built a really big expo center. Which, in reality, we could do it. I'd be all about that. But I don't think that's in the game. This is not a thing. I'm not going to go rooting through mods. I might go rooting through mods to do that. No. Regardless, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, like and subscribe. Jolly City Central will be building up in the future and attempting to unify everyone. How will that work out? I doubt it'll work out very well, but they're going to try really hard, so maybe something will occur. But yeah, until then, thanks for watching, and enjoy the rest of your day.